Here are my F1 2023 season predictions, and let's begin with the biggest team potential. I believe even though this team hasn't done very well over the past couple of years, I still think Haas can achieve some good results this year. They've got a solid driver lineup with Kevin Magnussen, who's been at that team for the 2022 season and has previously been at that team. I also think that Nico Hülkenberg is a really good driver, even though he hasn't achieved a podium in Formula 1. He's a solid, experienced driver who can achieve good points finishes on a regular basis. For that reason, and for the reason I'm hoping Haas have got a good car this year, I think Haas is the team that can achieve the best potential out of all of the teams. Some come close, like I think Mercedes is up there, but we'll get on to Mercedes a little bit later on. The biggest driver potential. Now this one was very difficult. In fact, all of the categories were very difficult to do, but I've gone for Oscar Piastri. I don't think he'll be the best rookie, but I think he is the driver with the most potential. He's at McLaren, which is a pretty decent team, and he's got a great teammate in Lando Norris who can hopefully show him the way and improve his skills. For a rookie, I think he is in the correct place to achieve good results later on. I don't think he's going to achieve the best results out of the rookies, but I do think he's got good potential behind him. With the team he's in, with the teammate he's got, with the position he's in winning the championship in the first season of Formula 2 and Formula 3, he's in a really good position to go and achieve some good results. Whether he does or not is a different matter, but I think his potential is definitely there, so he is the driver who I think has the biggest potential. Which team will flop? Well, I've kind of gone for two here because I'm a bit split on this opinion. I think possibly Aston Martin, but then you could argue they are already a flop since last year they haven't done very well, and the year before they weren't the best either, but that's a bit 50-50 for me. I think Aston Martin, they either will do bad or they will do pretty good, which is basically every team in Formula 1, but never mind. Another team that I think could be a flop is Alpine. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about Alpine. That's a Star Wars reference. But I just feel like they've got a semi-decent good driver lineup, although they have had beef in the past, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. I think they're just not going to get on well, and they're going to fail as a team, because they just seem a bit shadowy to me, like they're moving closer and closer into the shadows. No one really knows about them. Who really cares about Alpine? Which is a shame, because I love the Alpine brand and an Alpine A110 car. It's kind of what I really want. But that aside, I just feel like they're going to move into the shadows and they're going to fall down the ranks closer to P10 in the Constructors. Who will be the biggest driver flop? Now, again, I'm a bit 50-50. If Aston Martin are the team flop, I've gone for Fernando Alonso. I feel like he says he wants to win championships, he's here to win, but he's been in Formula 1 for 20 odd years. He's an old guy, considering you retire at around his age in sports. I just feel like he's saying all these promises, but he's not going to deliver. I just don't think he's going to do too well. Maybe that will be the car's fault, maybe not. But if Alpine don't do well, I've gone for Pierre Gasly. And I'm leaning more towards Pierre Gasly on the driver flop. I just feel like moving teams was not the best decision, although having said that, Alpine will deliver him more results than AlphaTauri could, because AlphaTauri's a Red Bull Junior team and Alpine's independent. But it's really difficult actually doing these predictions. I think Pierre Gasly will be a flop. I just have a bad feeling about that Alpine team this year, and it's a shame to say so, but there you go. I think Pierre Gasly will flop with the Alpine team as the team flop. I think they'll go down sinking to the bottom. Well, not quite the bottom. But moving on to the driver of the year, and for me, there's only one person for this role, Lando Norris. He's my favourite driver, okay? Probably my favourite driver. I like him so much. I think he's got a really good team in McLaren. They've probably got the best driver lineup, or at least one of the best driver lineups. I just got a good feeling about McLaren and Lando Norris in particular. I like their livery. It's probably my third favourite livery. I like the team. I like the drivers. I like Lando Norris. Come on, Lando. Be the driver of the year. I think he will definitely get at least one podium. It seems to be a trend. He gets a podium per year. Though having said that, did he get a podium last year? I can't remember. Let me know in the comments down below. And I'd like to add, please do comment down below on all of these categories who you think will fit the categories the best, who you think the driver of the year is, who you think is the biggest team flop, who you think is the biggest driver potential. Comment that down below and I'll be very fascinated to see your predictions. Moving on to team of the year, and as I said earlier, we're moving on to Mercedes. Last year, they were stuck in P13 behind an AlphaTauri, at least at the beginning of the year. They weren't very good. Everyone can agree on that. They were really not very good last year, until the end of the season, of course, when they got a podium, which is pretty impressive. I think they will be the team of the year because I think they are one of the... Earlier on, when I said it was difficult coming up with each category, I could have put Mercedes in the biggest team potential, but I put them in the team of the year because even though they're pretty much the same category, I've put them here because I think they will be the best team. Overall, they are the best team, really. They are a team player. Lewis is a team player. George seems like a team player. It just seems like the best team to be in. So I put them in the team of the year because I think they're most suited to that position. Well, the rookie of the year, it's not Oscar Piastri. We can move that aside because I don't think out of all three rookies he's going to perform the best in their teams respectively. I don't think it's Logan Sargent either. I don't know much about Logan, if I'm honest. I don't know enough to make a judgment about him. But what I do know is that Nick De Vries is my rookie of the year. If you look at his performance last year in the Williams at Monza, he thrashed his teammate who's been in Formula 1 for 3 years. He also got in the points in a Williams, and AlphaTauri seems to be a better team than Williams. I think he's such a good driver. He won the Formula E Championship a year or two ago. I've got a good feeling about Nick De Vries. I like him. I think all of the statistics, can't say that word. All of the statistics, I can't say that word. It's like being in preschool. Statistics, that word. I think all of those statistics show that Nick De Vries is the best. I like him. I like him as a driver. He won the F2 Championship, of course. He performed extremely well in that Williams. Hopefully he can do good. He's my rookie of the year. What's my biggest hope? Now this is a bit of a crazy prediction / something that probably won't happen, but I kind of want it to happen. I want Nico Hülkenberg to get his first podium in Formula 1. He's been in it since like 2010 and he's not got a podium. I think he's the longest driver to be in Formula 1 without a podium, which is a shame, and he's always been chasing after that podium. And I think if my prediction is correct about the biggest team potential being Haas, and he's at Haas, I think he can get a podium. Maybe not at the start of the year, maybe towards the end of the year, maybe in a circumstance where some of the big drivers and big teams have been out and there's a safety car and it's a crazy race. I think he could stand a chance on getting a podium in that scenario. Otherwise, it might be a bit unlikely, but I'll be crossing my fingers throughout the whole year for him to get his first podium. On to the big ones, which is the Constructors and Drivers Championships. I'll start with the Constructors, and I think it will be Ferrari. I genuinely believe Ferrari will be doing good this year. They've got Frederic Vasseur, who seems like a really good, down-to-earth guy who will just get the job done and won't stop until he gets a championship. I feel like when he does get a championship with Ferrari, he might retire and go to the beaches in the French Riviera and relax and have martinis, getting off point. But I think Ferrari is looking very good. Last year, I said they were going to win the Constructors and Drivers. They didn't, but that's because they flopped last year. They weren't very good, although they did kind of pick up the pace towards the end of the season. Their strategy was, well, we all know their strategy was horrendous last year. Topic for another video. Let's get back to the predictions. But yeah, I have a good feeling about Ferrari. I really do. And they're probably my second or first favourite team. I really want them to do well. I really, really want them to get these championships in the bag. And I pray that they can this year. And yes, I think my driver's champion is Charles Leclerc. Last year I made a crazy prediction and said Carlos Sainz. I don't know why I did that. I'll have to rewatch a video I made about why I think it's Carlos Sainz to understand that. But this year I'm going Charles Leclerc. I think he's kind of the Ferrari number one driver. I think he's probably the better driver out of the two. I just have a good feeling, and I've said that so many times in this video, it's making me feel a bit sick. But never mind, Charles Leclerc, driver's champion. Let's hope Frederic Vasseur can manage to bring spearhead Ferrari to the championships. Come on, Ferrari. I'll be rooting for you for the championships and rooting for McLaren and Mercedes for P2 and P3. Anyway, those are my F1 2023 season predictions for this year. Let me know what your 2023 predictions are down in the comments below. You can follow the categories I've set for this video, or you can just do your own categories, whatever suits you. But apart from that, click on this video here to find out which is my favourite 2023 livery and which one is my least favourite livery of this season. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.